My name is Joanne Alexander, and I'm a nurse part-time. I think it is about how we feel about ourselves more than just a visual of how someone else looks. I think beauty, you don't necessarily have to look like a movie star to be beautiful, and I consider beauty more on the inside than on the out. Truly a practical decision. It was wearing hair this short. I was coloring my hair every 3 weeks. It was just too much. I was in my mid 50s. I felt I was young enough to be able to transition without everyone saying you're going to look so old. And I was secure enough that I just wanted my life to be easier. Turned out the color of my hair came out quite nice, and I was so pleased with it. It's also like nail polish. If I don't like it, I could change it anytime I want, but I do love it. I'm very secure with it. So many women want to let their hair go, but they're afraid. And my mantra is, it is again like fingernails. If you don't like it, you can always color it a week from now. But I suggest, they say it's going to make them look old, and I suggest natural is often what's most flattering for us. Certainly for me, I think it was. And taking a chance is not crazy. But I am literally complimented on a daily basis if I'm out and about, the post office, at the bank, and in my work. Oh, they love it. Everyone is complimentary. Everyone wants to know where I have it cut, as I mentioned to you, Katona, and how I did it. How can I look so great, but it wouldn't look great on them? And I tell them the same thing. It would look wonderful because it would be natural and it would be you. But it does make me feel good each and every time. I think it's interesting that women don't embrace what might be considered part of the aging process, because it is. We don't usually have white hair in our youth. And I can speak for 15 of my friends that no one will let their hair go. Only one friend I have that has let her hair go. And all for what they consider to be what's important to them in terms of their vanity. I just find it stunning that they would spend as much time and energy coloring, and it becomes a full-time job to keep up with that. But it is a personal choice. I wish more women embraced it. I can only guess that there's just a more natural aspect to Europeans in many senses, and maybe at some point in their lives there wasn't the availability of all the products that we have here. They were living a simpler life. I'm not speaking about in the major cities, but in the outskirts, they didn't have the products that we have here to do everything that we do. I think that it should be embraced. I think that it is beautiful, and in many cases, so much more flattering. We all know women that color their hair these crazy dark colors, and in fact, it's a much softer look. It just works better with the aging process, and I think it would demonstrate to other women that it's possible if there were more in marketing and advertisements and billboards here. But I think we are beginning to see that. I mean, I do see it more in magazines. You see it occasionally on the runway, not that often yet, but I think it's emerging. It's definitely, it's worth exploring and having everyone see how wonderful it is to be free, to have all that free time on your hands. You're not coloring your hair. As I had mentioned to you before, I don't have such a closet to choose from, but I think I have always chosen with expression, and it makes me feel quite individual. Um, I am surrounded. I'm fortunate enough to be surrounded by people who compliment, and my husband, my children. Always feel good, and it's a positive thing to feel good about yourself, therefore being able to feel good about the rest of the world and other people. But I feel confident. I'm secure. It took a while, given that I'm 66. That was a work in progress, but I'm now very secure, comfortable in my skin, and choose my accessories with thought. I just feel as though you can't convince someone to feel good about themselves, but you can share your own story and then hope that some of that will eventually rub off on that person that you're speaking to. And just sharing that, how lucky we are to be aging, because the alternative is grim. So we should embrace it, and we should show everyone women aging is a beautiful thing. And then just hope that they heed some of your advice. That's all I can say.